Hello everybody, my name is Nelly, and in today's video I would like to touch upon another topic related to violence against women and violent men in particular. In my previous videos and lives, I talk a lot about the telling factors, the red flags, and the signs that women should watch for and pay attention to in order to protect themselves and identify manipulative and aggressive or abusive behavior at a very early stage before it becomes a problematic situation for the woman. I also talk a lot about the different risk factors which contribute for somebody to become later on violent, abusive, and aggressive against women. And another thing that I would like to talk about, which violent men, not only violent men who are violent against their partners and women, but violent men in general have in common is the addiction. A lot of the violent men and the men who are abusive towards or against their intimate partner actually have addiction problems. And violence and addictive behavior in many cases correlate. They coexist in the men who are violent. And when we talk about addictive behavior and addictions, violent men can be addicted to almost anything, but it's very common for them. This is one thing that violent men definitely have in common, which is the addictions to substances, alcohol, drugs, addiction to having very frequent intercourse, unsafe intercourse, just very frequent. It's like an impulse for them. And basically, violent men can be addicted to absolutely anything. But as I say, addictions is a very, very common trait, behavioral trait that they have, and it's a telling factor as well. Again, I want to clarify and emphasize that not all violent men are having problems with addiction, and of course, also not all men who are addicted to whatever it can be are violent. So that's why, what I want to explain is that, of course, they are men who are addicted to alcohol, to substances, or to anything else, and they never expressed and showed signs of violence to any other person or to their intimate partners. So again, it's an expression, it's an example, and it's something that a lot of violent men have in common, the addictions. But of course, that fact does not necessarily say or confirms that other people who struggle with addictions are violent. Now, going back to the addictive behavior of violent men, not only that they tend to be addicted to any sort of things, behaviors, compulsive behaviors, and substances, etc., but even the violence itself can be seen as an expression of an addiction. Some violent men, especially when they tend to be more aggressive, when they are really engaged with extreme violent acts that cause very severe harm, very serious harm to the victim. And that kind of men who tend to be more close to the spectrum of psychopathic personality or antisocial personality. For them, violence is actually also an addiction, because violence could give them the thrill, the excitement, and even the pleasure, and the adrenaline and all that, the adrenaline boost in their brain. So all these circumstances actually make it easy for somebody to become addicted. So men who have antisocial or psychopathic personality disorder, they tend to be addicted to a lot of things, including violence. Violence gives them this, as I say, this boost of pleasure and adrenaline, which becomes addictive in time. And that's why for that kind of man, it's almost impossible to change. It's an addiction. Violence gives them pleasure, and they see their victims from the eyes or with the eyes of a predator. For them, it's a game. It's something that gives them, as I say, the thrill, the excitement, and the pleasure to hunt for victims, to hurt victims, to see the confusion, the fear in the victim's eyes, exactly as a predator would see that in the prey. So men who are engaged with more extreme acts of violence against people, against women in particular, and in general, and also men who are criminals and are engaged in a lot of different criminal acts, including violence against people. Their rehabilitation is normally unsuccessful. The success rate is really low, and the motivation for change in them is quite insignificant or non-existent. So this kind of men do not really have a big chance to change. Maybe there are exceptions, but what I would say is that really the probability is very low, and they're just harmful for the others, for the society, and living in the society is actually causing a lot of it's basically a risk, and it's a danger for everybody else. And for that reason, there is no other way to protect but just to engage the law enforcement, the police, and the justice system when it comes to that kind of violent men who are psychopathic, who have a very long history of violence and criminal actions. That's all I wanted to share in this video. Thank you very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.